Hi, welcome to this week's Five with Hive. So this week we're going to talk about air source heat pumps, and I'm going to assume at this point that you have an understanding of what an air source heat pump does and that you're interested in deciding which product to go for. So we supply three main heat pump brands, Samsung, Ideal and Valliant. And there's some nuances between the three products and it can be a little bit confusing of which is the best one to go for, okay? But let me just summarize it in one way. So we install way more Samsung air source heat pumps than Ideal or Valliant, and typically that comes down to price and also the usage of the system and the speed of installation. Okay, so Samsung air source heat pumps we can typically get installed in a property for about £5,000, including the £7,500 bus grant from the government. Ideal heat pumps around £1,500 more, and Valliant around another £1,500 more than Ideal. So you're looking at about a £3,000 price difference between the lowest cost Samsung installation and say a Valliant. But there may be situations where you would be better off spending a bit more for a better product in terms of some features that Ideal and Valliant have. And purpose of this video is to quickly demonstrate what those features are. Okay, so obviously they're all SOC pumps. They're all taking air from outside, squeezing it, heating, creating heat or hot water, and then moving that around the house to create heat and energy within the home. Okay, but Samsung's benefit is that typically the systems are, or the cylinders are pre-assembled. So we buy a Samsung and dual combination, which saves the plumber an average a day of actually putting all the bits and pieces onto the cylinder. So it's a lot quicker to install, and of course that means that the installation costs come down as well. They come in different colors as well. So Samsung has a black unit, which I think looks pretty cool outside, and the cylinder sizes range from kind of 120 liters up to about 400. Now, if we compare this with the Ideal system, systems are actually very similar, although the COP efficiency of an Ideal system is higher. So you're getting a more efficient system with Ideal. But one of the key benefits that I've always found with Ideal is that the Halo controllers that come with them are pretty sophisticated, and this is the one bugbear that us and customers often have with Samsung, is that, okay, it's great if you just trust the system to be set up and working at all times, and you don't need that smart interaction between the home or different systems and the air source heat pump. But as soon as you want to start communicating with the Samsung system, it becomes quite complicated and quite expensive to buy all the additional parts, okay? Whereas with an Ideal system, they have a Halo Smart thermostat out of the box. You can connect to smart tariffs, so you can adjust when it's going to sort of increase or decrease the amount of heating it's going to produce in the property. And visually, they're pretty nice, and you can control everything from a nice dial in the living room rather than having to go and figure out what settings to put on the boiler itself. Okay, so key advantage, Ideal, easy to interact with, a nice app. They are actually slightly quieter and they're more efficient. And then I guess that leaves the Valliant. Now, Valliant are again a further £1,500. Arguably, it's debatable whether we would recommend Valliant over Ideal, but there are situations where they are very useful, and that tends to be around relationships they have with energy providers. So Valliant have a relationship with Ovo Energy, where Ovo Energy will actually charge 15 pence per kilowatt instead of 28 pence for the energy that the air source heat pump consumes. Now, you might, if you've already got an air source heat pump, you might already know this, but the air source heat pumps actually do consume quite a bit of energy. And although they are very efficient, so 300 or 400, even 500% efficiency COP, they're still drawing a lot of electricity from the grid. And if you don't have a battery and solar system, that can become quite expensive on standard tariffs. The way we get around this with some systems like Samsung manually, and even the Ideal on the smart thermostat, is that we'd recommend tariffs with Octopus Energy, for example, that have cheaper nighttime rates. And so we typically try and drive the biggest energy usage during those times, so that during the daytime then this is using less energy. But with Ovo and Valliant's relationship, they're actually charging 15 pence flat rate per kilowatt, which it's kind of 40% cheaper than their average rate. And that, if you've got a larger system, that's when we start to think about introducing Valliant rather than Ideal Samsung, because the larger the system, the larger the house, the more energy consumption that's going to be driven into that SOC pump. So if you've got sort of 5-6 bedroom, maybe even a 4-bedroom detached house, that's where the cost benefit of having a Valliant with a cheaper energy tariff would outweigh the additional £1,500 that you might be paying on the system. Apart from that, obviously, Valliant is a very well-known brand. It comes with 10-year warranty instead of 15. So there's other benefits. They did win one of the quietest SOC pump awards, but to be honest, there's marginal differences between the three partnerships. So I hope that helps, and that's a wrap for this week's 5 with Hive.